In this lesson, we're going to introduce you to filming with a DSLR camera. It's a more advanced camera system than using a smartphone, and it allows you to get a wider variety of shots.
We also think there's a lot in this lesson that will be useful to people filming with your smartphones. A lot of the shots and concepts we're going to show here with the DSLR can also be applied with your smartphone. We hope you enjoy it. DSLR cameras are more complex and expensive than your average smartphone, but they have certain advantages. They have larger sensors and can use a wide variety of lenses. Filming with the DSLR generally involves a slightly different style than using a smartphone and your stabilizer. You're generally going to want to use a tripod, and you're going to also want to get used to making some complex adjustments with your camera settings.
Now, when it comes to these settings, there are many to keep in mind. On our course website, we go into these in more detail, but you will get used to hearing terms like aperture, ISO, shutter, white balance. These are all elements that will give you more control and improve your image. There are also other resources online, of course, which can go into more detail about how to film with a DSLR.
There's a lot to learn about filming with a DSLR, more than we're able to put in this short class. So we encourage you to go online and look at different things that you'll find on YouTube or LinkedIn Learning or other online resources. There's a lot of information out there about how to use cameras and lenses in interesting and exciting ways. We hope that this class provides a basic intro to shooting with your DSLR. Well, we hope this basic intro has been helpful. Now let's look at DSLR filming in action.
Now we're going to show you how to use the DSLR camera. We're here in beautiful Central Park, and unlike using a smartphone where there's only one lens on it, a DSLR allows you to use multiple lenses. So we're going to show you how to shoot a wide, a medium, and a tight shot by changing the focal length of the lens.
In this scene, we'll be setting up a standard documentary film situation, which is called covering a scene. Brian has a volunteer, Claire, who you may remember from our smartphone and stabilizer video. As before, we'll use a split screen here to show you how the different lenses look and impact the filming.
All right, so now we're going to show you how these different angles actually work. We have Claire here today, who's going to play the role of a volunteer gardener for us. And we have our DSLR. And on the DSLR, we have a zoom lens, which, as I said, will allow us to get a wide, a medium, and a tight shot. So let's start by getting the wide shot, which helps us establish the scene. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and roll here. And I'm on my wide angle lens, which in this case is a 24 millimeter. And wide angle lenses are good for establishing the scene. So in this case, I'm just going to use the wide angle to pan and tilt into the scene of Claire in the park. So the wide angle allows us to see a lot of the landscape and helps the audience understand where we are. So the next thing we might do is to go into more of a medium shot. So we have our wide, and then it might be nice to cut into something a little bit tighter on Claire so that we can see a bit more detail of what she's doing. In this case, damaging the grass quite a bit. And again, this gives us just a bit more detail of the activity. It's nice to have this tighter shot to cut into from the wide. In this case, I am kind of getting some detail on Claire. I might tilt down and get some detail of the great work she's doing on the grass. And so that's our medium shot. So the next shot we can get is a tighter shot, or sometimes called a telephoto shot. On this lens, the tightest shot is a 70 millimeter. So we'll zoom into that all the way. And these are great in the editing to mix up the edit, cut to details of, in this case, maybe the emotion in Claire's face as she does this great work, or details of the tools. But a tight shot cut with a wide shot makes for a dynamic edit. One of the classic scenes in filming a documentary is someone going somewhere, and that's what we're going to show you now. Using the angles we just discussed, we're going to have Claire do a walk in Central Park, and we're going to show you how the wide, the medium, and the close cut together to create a sequence. Let's get to it. All right, Claire, so we're going to film a scene of you walking. So we're going to have you start back here at the start of the path, and I'm just going to have you walk along this while I'm in a wide shot, and then we'll get another angle.
As always, before you shoot, you must remember to set the frame, check focus and exposure. Don't be afraid to politely ask the people you're filming to move in a position where you can see them. After all, the whole point of this is to make a film and tell their story to other people.
Okay, right here is fine. Up a little bit. Okay, so we're in our scene here. We have Claire in the background, and she's gonna walk along this path here. I'm in my wide angle lens, so I'm gonna kind of pan with her as she walks. This is a nice move to kind of pan with the action. It can be a nice shot as an operator of the camera. And let's give it a shot. I am rolling, and go ahead and walk.
As you can see, it's a pretty simple shot. But documentaries need a lot of things like this. They need sequences of people going to places and doing things to cover narration and interviews and be parts of longer stories.
A nice bonus shot you can get in this situation is taking the camera off the tripod and putting it in a spot where the eye wouldn't normally see. In this case, we're going to take the camera, put it on the ground so that when Claire passes by, we get a cool shot of her feet. Let's take a look.
For editors to be able to edit long sequences, they need a wide variety of shots. In this case, placing the camera low and on the ground gives us an interesting and different angle to edit into our sequence.
And action. The last shot we want to get in our sequence is a tight shot on a telephoto lens. So I'm going to have Claire walk around the corner here, and this tighter shot will cut with the wide shot we shot earlier and the shot of her feet to create a 3-shot sequence. Let's take a look. Okay, so Claire, when I call action, we're going to have you walk. And I'm rolling, and action. And there you have it, Claire walking through the park.
Well, we hope this deep dive into filming with a DSLR and its different lenses has been useful. For those of you who are filming with smartphones, don't worry. A lot of the things that we've shown you here, you can also do by moving cameras closer or farther away from your subjects. The main thing that the smartphones don't do is zoom, but coverage and a variety of angles is something you can certainly achieve. So we hope you found this useful.